reliable, accurate, affordable, from a well-known manufacturer that has been doing this for a very, very, very long time. But the two questions I want you to think about while we talk about this particular item are, who is this for? Why is it not selling? Let's talk about the Beretta APX A1 Tactical. That's right, guys. I picked up the Beretta APX A1. It is their latest edition of the APX lineup, and it kind of fits the bill for when you're going after that kind of Glock 19, CZ P10C, Smith & Wesson M&P. They have a full size and a compact, but we'll talk about the differences between those two because it's not really a true full size and a compact. How they kind of laid out the sizing is a little bit wonky in my opinion, and it might be part of the reason why these might be considered a flop in the future. Now, what this is a striker-fired handgun coming in right about 30 ounces, has a 4.8-inch threaded barrel. This, of course, the tactical model. This one has their 3 21 sticks right here, which is very nice. Has that nice tactical look to it. And of course, with this look comes a threaded barrel for a suppressor. Now this runs great suppressed, it runs great unsuppressed. It feels good, and by all accounts, it's a good handgun. I've had it for a couple months now. It's been very reliable, made in Italy. Optics ready. However, something that's interesting that they did was, instead of doing a mail-in option where you can go and request a brand new optics plate depending on which optic you want, they require you to buy one. Now, the other option would have been maybe include an optics plate in there, but they wanted to cut costs, I'm assuming. But that doesn't help the fact that a lot of companies are now shipping their handguns with a variety of different kinds of plates on there. Some even have the slides already milled for a specific kind of red dot in there, or there's even new ones now that are coming out that have a variety of options, a bunch of different holes in the slide now for whatever your fancy is for a red dot. So the fact that you get this handgun in with these suppressor height sights, which are metal, which is nice, you still have to go and pay extra money to get a red dot sight optic plate for it. I don't know if I like that. I really do like it. I think it's a good handgun in the market, but I can kind of tell you why it's not really selling. For example, this is the tactical model, right? Nice long threaded barrel, but it is chunky. It is a nice thick handgun, but it's considered full size, so okay, we'll take that for how it is, right? It's a nice thick handgun. The weird thing is the suppressor height sights, they're totally blacked out, right? That's kind of normal in a way. You can kind of see those on different handguns, but if you're gonna ship it without any way to actually mount a red dot on there, I would have liked to have seen some kind of night sight up front, just because the black on black makes it pretty hard to actually pick up a target. It would have been nice to have some type of dot in the front there. Now it's not very heavy, it's about 30 ounces, so I think 30 ounces with a mag, and then about like 26 and change without a mag, so it's not terrible, right? I mean, what is weird is the feel of it. So for a couple of things, I think they did good with the grip. I think the grip looks really nice. This is an OD green, if you can kind of see that. Nicely laid out in terms of where they have the stippling on here. The back strap is removable. I'll show you what comes in the box here in a minute. Yeah, some nice little kind of, not really stippling, but rough texture there where your finger and like kind of where your thumb kind of glide into there. Nothing on the back, nice and smooth. Nice big mag release, works really, really well. Flings them out just like so. Even has a nice undercut there, but it just feels so tall to me for some reason. Also, the slide is a pretty hefty slide to rack. So there is a pretty heavy spring in there, pretty heavy recoil spring in there. And they do have the front and rear serrations on there, but this handgun would not be for everyone. It's not something where it's even as easy as some of the other handguns we have, like a PSA Dagger or the CZ P10C. I mean, those are easy to rack compared to this. This is pretty heavy. That was like one of the first things I noticed, was the fact that it was actually pretty heavy. So it's not something for everybody, I don't think. Has a nice slide release. Easy to reach. I haven't even hit it at all. Usually sometimes if you're riding pretty high on that last round, you'll hit it, but it's big and square and kind of flush to the side there, so you have less of a chance of really riding that compared to some of the other longer ones, or maybe some that stick out a little bit more. On the front here, it does have some interesting kind of texturing up front. Not really for where your finger kind of goes. Your finger can kind of reach up there a little bit, at least your thumb can. Pointer finger, it's a little bit far. I don't know why they put like some way up there. It kind of helps a little bit where that is. It's kind of an interesting choice on where they put that. Now, threaded barrels aren't for everyone. Obviously, if you have a suppressor, you can run it that way. They look cool, they do. That might be a reason why this is actually on a pretty significant discount for price-wise, this particular model. And then also the compact, and there's also the APX carry as well. And I think there's a couple things here. So this one has like the 4.8-inch barrel, but the compact has like a 3.7, so it's even smaller than your normal like Glock 19, like 4-inch barrel kind of model you're looking for normally in a type of handgun that's like this kind of size. I mean, so many of them go for that model of like a Glock 19 size. This one's a little bit bigger, and then their compact is like 13 round magazines and a little bit smaller, and then their carry is only like, I don't even know, it's like 8 rounds or something. It's back to like the original Gen 1 Shield. Like they're 10 years behind on this one. So overall a great handgun, but there is some pitfalls, I think, in how they designed this and of course marketed it as well. And I think that's some reason maybe why you don't see these selling very well. Even my local gun store, like they don't carry many of them. They even had a big sale trying to like push them a little bit more. They sell more of like the CX4 Storms and the 92 series than anything else, even compared to this. And of course, Beretta owns the world of shotguns, but this, I don't know, it's interesting how they laid out some of the features on here. But let me show you what you get in the box real quick. So the box is nice. It's kind of a step away from their traditional blue, from the old blue boxes here. In fact, I do have my original 92 FS made in Italy. This was my first handgun, actually. I did a bunch of videos on it in the past. Still love this thing. This is a traditional Beretta handgun, right? Oh, so nice. Classic look, that sexy Beretta styling right there. That came in one of the old blue boxes that you'd have with like literally nothing. Just a real cheap plastic box. This one is, you know, it's a little more rugged. I think they're trying to show off, like they kind of match the slide cuts here a little bit, just to kind of make it, you know, a little more aggressive looking. But inside, you know, you get your lock, you get a cleaning rod, you get a loader for the magazines, you get 3 mags. Pretty awesome, right? 21 rounders there. And then of course you get a small, a medium, and a large with a kind of a webbing extension on there, back strap. So you have 3 different sizes there. The medium fits my hand pretty good though, but you can fill it in a little bit more if you want to go with large. The magazines are very nice. You know, they say, let's see, PB Cal 9mm made in Italy. They are metal. They won't work with anything else that Beretta has though. You know, it's interesting how they keep switching around with what they have, but even the mag base plate, of course, is designed specifically for the APX A1. But I was curious the other day, I was like, will it work in a 92? And no, they're much bigger. Of course, this is a full size, but this was considered kind of a full size back in the day, right? I mean, they're not that far off. But this is, you can kind of tell how thick this thing is. That is something. I mean, this thing is thick, right? So let me show you a little sneak peek here. This right here is a PSA dagger. Now this dagger course has been heavily customized a bit. I added some new things to it. It originally kind of came to me just a standard green, sniper green slide, and then I did some more work to it, but I do have a full video if you want to look into this. But I added a optics cut to it for the slide, and then I went and added a threaded barrel, some cool cuts there. TLR7A Streamlight. This is a brand new company coming out with these right here, this Magwell adapter, and these are really cool. And this is a 15 round handgun, right? With closer to that 4-inch barrel. I think it's like 4.5 or a little under with the threaded barrel, but this of course 4.8. But just looking at it, I mean, it's crazy. This comes in less weight than this as it stands. I think this is like 25 ounces, this is like 26, right? So something that's just interesting how they're marketing these APX A1s, even if it's a full size, is like this thing is like fully tricked out, and this thing I can shoot much better. It just feels better in the hand, and you're gonna see a full review on this right here in the future. It is a very accurate, very reliable handgun. I just thought it was kind of weird how they marketed it a little bit different. I think I wouldn't say they missed the mark, but I think it's hard to kind of break into that. I think the original, they had the APX with the real aggressive slide on there. That one didn't sell very well. You don't see too many of those out there. Then they have the A1 here, and then the fact that they marketed this as a full size, and the compact was actually, and I think I said 13 round mags, I think it's actually 10 round mags, which that is, it's kind of weird, right? The trigger is like almost like a Glock trigger. It's kind of squishy though. It's not really as crisp as I was thinking it would have been compared to what you get from like the Beretta, which of course is the double action, single action, right? But with that single action on there, oh, it's just so nice, right? This one, it's just real squishy, watch. A little bit of take up there. Very mushy, the reset. Kind of a gritty, a little bit longer reset. Now for one of the strangest features of this handgun, and it relates to the takedown of it. So you have to pull the trigger to take it down, right? Typically you check it, safety check once, twice, right? Obviously magazine out first, and then pull the trigger, all right? And then you actually have to push this button over here to get the takedown lever to pop out a little bit on this side, and you flip it down, and now you can take the slide off, all right? And then standard striker fired handgun. Slide it back on, like so, you're back in business. Now if you rack the slide and try to push that button down, get the takedown, it won't go. It actually like springs back, and I don't even think you could force it to slide off. You can't. So you have to pull the trigger. So what Beretta did was install a decocking button on the side that looks like a pin, but it's right next to the pin there, and it's a decocking button. So let me show you back here real quick. You bring the slide back just like that. Furthest back part here is a pin. Right in front of that is a dimpled little pin there, and it looks like a pin. It's actually a button. Push it till it clicks. You decocked your APX A1, and now you can go and push that button in, flip this down, take the slide off. I don't think I've seen a side decocking button that you need a tool for in the past, and I don't know of many reviewers who are talking about that. That is an interesting feature and very European-esque. Nice close-up. There is that decocker plunger right there. So you're going to bring this back a bit and simply push this in. And that's it. You're dead. Dead in the water there. And now you can actually bring this back, and you need to push this in a bit so that on the other side here, you can flip this all the way down to slide it off. Pretty interesting. Not sure if I've seen that before, especially in that placement on the side. And this, of course, just racks back into place. Good to go. Now for your standard takedown, all you're gonna do, no mag, check, check again. The slide is nice and heavy, but there's nothing in the chamber. Safety first. We're gonna pull this trigger. We'll do it together, don't worry. Don't be scared, we got this. Safety first, you'll make it through. All right, now, it's a little tricky. Pull back a little bit, slide the lever back, and slide this off. So, just like before, if you don't wanna use this weird plunger, you can just do the old-fashioned way. Tilt that down. It's interesting that the rails are so far back here. Usually have something up front, but not in this one. Some interesting design picks for this gun. Still pretty good, good shooter. Well, hope you guys learned something in this video today and kind of learned a little bit more about the APX A1. Very interesting firearm coming out of Beretta. I think they're trying to find their niche for the handgun market because they haven't really taken a good foothold. I've even seen like all their old carry guns, like they had like the Nano and all those. Remember those? None of those really took off, I don't think. Not as much as their original like 92 series, like the 92 FS. And I just think that they're trying to find their way in a sea of handguns and trying to figure out what can actually succeed, what can sell well. I mean, it's a beautiful handgun, it's reliable, it works really well, feels good in the hand. It's just really chunky, kind of a tough spring on there, and I just think that they need to work a little bit more on it. Maybe find something a little bit smaller, 15 round mags, maybe lighten up the slide somehow, include some optics plates. You need some night sight up front, or at least a white dot up front, to be honest. I need some kind of contrast because when it's dark out, it's hard to kind of see, and if you have a dark background, really hard to line those sights up. So if you guys have any questions about anything you've seen today on this video, hit them down in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. Have a fun time at the range, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next review.